Hello and welcome to Fresh and Fit Kitchen. My name is Janelle and I am your host through our culinary journey today. We are going to be doing a spin on pizza night at home. So it is getting colder, we spend more nights at home, but we are not moving as much, so we don't necessarily want all that heavy pizza, but yet you have a craving. So we're gonna do 3 different options today. They are going to be low carb if you need it, high protein, and just some kind of fun spins on pizzas. You can invite your friends over, have a family game night, whatever you want to do. You can do one of these recipes, you can do a little bit of each of them and have choices for everybody to choose from. So our first recipe today is going to be a spaghetti squash pizza. This is going to be a barbecue chicken, but you can make this into anything you want if you are not a barbecue fan. Our second one will be a flatbread pizza. This is kind of more on the savory side. We're going to utilize prosciutto and arugula, some caramelized onions, as well as some fig spread. And then our third pizza today is a high protein carbless pizza. We're going to be taking a pound of ground chicken and we're going to be using it as our pizza crust. And then we're going to be doing a Caesar salad on top. So we'll do a spin on a high protein Caesar salad pizza. So for today, we're going to get started on our barbecue chicken spaghetti squash pizza. So spaghetti squashes are a really cool and versatile squash. They come in a big gourd. There are various sizes. So usually when I'm doing like a pizza, I want a medium to large. This one's kind of on the large side of medium, but it also, just depends on what you have in the store. Sometimes you don't have the choice to get smaller. Now with our spaghetti squashes, we want to make sure that we're going to cut the top off and then we're going to de-seed it and cut it in half as well. These guys can be pretty tricky. So I like using a smaller knife like this one because it allows me to have more control over the squash as it's rolling around. I try and find kind of the most stable side of the squash that I've got. I'm short, so I'm gonna have to get up on my toes here in order to get the right leverage. But then you're gonna just break into the top of the squash up here. I use the squash and roll it and keep the knife in place. This will also prevent you from cutting off any fingers. This can go right away. And then we're gonna start cutting this guy in half. And again, we're just going to use that squash as leverage and get around. Do your best to cut it in half. It's not always gonna work the way you want it to. And then open and it goes. So all of these insides, it's kind of like a pumpkin. We just want to take all of this out and then we're going to be left with just the spaghetti squash that will pull at the end. Spaghetti squash is cool because once it roasts up, it becomes like a noodle-like quality. All right. And then I just use regular spoon. I've got a trash can here, just scraping all the innards in. These ones can be really good for replacing spaghetti noodles too when you're doing a pasta. All right, sorry guys, this one does not want to come out. We're gonna do a little extra here and get that out. There we go. That made life a lot easier. All right, and then just finish cleaning this guy out. Doesn't have to be perfect, but a lot of the slimy stuff you want out. And then you're gonna be left with this hollow half of a spaghetti squash. I'm gonna show you how we do this one, and then I will finish the other side and get it in the oven, but we're just gonna season with just a tiny bit of salt, pepper, and then just a little bit of oil in there. Usually I'll pour some in there. If you've got a spray oil, that works well too. And then just oil it up. I've got a greased cookie sheet here. We're gonna flip this over, cut side down. The reason for doing the cut side down is that when it's in the oven, it will steam underneath and help the spaghetti squash to cook faster. So I'm gonna finish the other side, get this in the oven and get it roasting. I've got an oven preheated to 400 degrees. These are going to go in there for about 20 minutes or until I can easily pull them with a fork. So when I return, these will be ready to go and we will build our first pizza. I'll see you back in a minute. Hello and welcome. My name is Janelle Hill. I am with Fresh and Fit Kitchen and I am your guide today on our culinary journey. We're going to be doing a spin on pizza night at home. We're going to try and lighten things up so that you can satisfy your craving but still get your pizza fix without sacrificing your dietary goals for the holiday season or just the winter in general. So we are going to do 3 different styles of pizza today. Our first one is going to be a barbecue chicken spaghetti squash pizza. I've already got our spaghetti squash prepped and ready to go, which I'll explain how we do that in just a couple minutes. Our second pizza today is going to be on the savory side, and that one is going to be a flatbread pizza where we're going to utilize fig jam, arugula, some caramelized onions, and some fresh basil. And then our very last one today is going to be a high protein carbless pizza. We will take our ground chicken and use that as our crust and then have a Caesar salad right on top. It's everything you want in a pizza and a salad all in one bite without any carbs and tons of protein. So let's get into our pizza night. Like I said, we're going to start with our spaghetti squash barbecue chicken pizza. I've already got some barbecue chicken here that I made earlier. All I did was baste the chicken breast with some barbecue sauce, threw it in the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes. I do tend to cut my chicken breasts in half. That way they cook faster and retain a lot more of the moisture. And then I've got some diced red onion, some cilantro, some mozzarella cheese, a lime, and then jalapenos, and of course, barbecue sauce. Get whatever barbecue sauce is your favorite. If you don't like barbecue sauce, there's a lot of other avenues that you can go with these kinds of pizzas. This is just one example. So I cut our spaghetti squashes in half. The insides of these squashes, when you do cut them in half, are going to look almost like a pumpkin inside, where you're going to have that real stringy hairs and fibers and seeds. We're going to scoop those all out so that you get a nice clean shell. And I've already roasted these up as well. I sprinkled salt, pepper, and olive oil, put them in the oven while I was making the chicken, and roasted those for about 20 minutes until I could easily pull the squash noodles inside. And so when I did steam them, or roast them, I'm sorry, I did put them cut side down on a cookie sheet. That way while it cooks, it steams underneath and kind of speeds up your prep time and your cooking time. So as you can see, I can kind of stick my spoon in here and pull. That's how I know that these are done and they become kind of just like noodles. So we are going to fill this spaghetti squash, and we're going to use this as our pizza vessel. It also really elevates your presentation when people see you with the pizza squash boat. So I'm going to start by adding a little bit of barbecue sauce into the bottom of each one. You can put as much or as little as you want. Remember, you can always top off with more later. I'm going to do a layer of cheese. For me, I like cheese on the bottom, toppings, and then a little more cheese on the top. We're going to do our red onions. Now remember, if you don't like any of these ingredients, just leave them out. You don't like jalapenos and spice, you don't need to use them. I myself absolutely love jalapenos. Hang on one sec, let me grab my knife. Forgot that part. Kind of vital. And I'm just going to cut our chicken into small bite-sized pieces here. Let you be able to see what I'm doing. And again, I just roasted this chicken off in the oven with some barbecue sauce until it reached an internal temperature of 165. If it's still pink in there, you are not done cooking. Nobody wants salmonella. That really ruins a dinner party. All right. The nice thing about this is you can easily make this one vegetarian. So just leaving out the meat. You can add in some beans. Black beans would be a really good vegetarian alternative, as well as tofu. I'm gonna add in a little cilantro here. And then we are gonna do a little lime juice, because I think lime and barbecue go together really well. It helps to brighten up that barbecue sauce. And then I'm gonna add some jalapenos. Make sure you wash your hands after handling your jalapenos. If you don't, you will remember later. And usually it's in a very unfortunate way. Usually involves your eyeballs. All right. And then we're gonna top with some more cheese. Now, green onion's a great addition to this. If you like mushrooms, pineapple, I mean, think about when you go and you order pizza. Bring that home and turn it into a little bit healthier of a version. We're gonna add a little bit more barbecue sauce to the top, because why not? And then these are gonna be done in about 15 minutes. We just need to pop them in the oven, let that cheese get real nice and ooey gooey melty. If you like a little extra brown cheese on your pizzas, I recommend kicking your oven up to broil at the very end. Or if you don't have the broil ability, kick it up as high as your oven will go. Set your tray at the very top where it's closest to your heating element and allow it to brown up there. So I'm gonna get this in the oven. When I get back, I will show you how to serve this, and then we will get started on our second pizza. I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, welcome back. Our first pizza of the day is finished. It is our barbecue chicken spaghetti squash pizza. As you can see, we use the boat as part of our serving vessel. It just makes it look more desirable, really. And then given that the spaghetti squash is kind of like your noodles, it will fall apart on the plate without having the boat underneath. So leave it under there. Provides a nice, easy way to eat your pizza. I went ahead and finished it with a little bit of diced tomatoes, some fresh cilantro, a few raw purple onions, and then another jalapeno slice on there because I like my heat. Feel free to finish it with a little more barbecue sauce or anything else you'd like. This would be a great time to add pineapple if you are in the camp that likes pineapple on their pizza. And this is ready to go. If you have extras of these, you can store them in your fridge and use them for lunch throughout the week. They heat up great in the microwave and they will hold in your refrigerator for 4 to 5 days. If you are just wanting to leave off some of the fresh ingredients and just adding them right before you're ready to eat, that will keep it even longer for you. So I hope you enjoy this one, and we're gonna move on to our next one, which is gonna be our sweet and savory fig flatbread pizza. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, welcome back. We're gonna do our second pizza. This one's super quick and easy. There's really no cooking involved. I went ahead and toasted some flatbread, just a couple minutes in the oven, get it kind of warmed up and ready to go. I have a fig jam spread. You can get this in any of your grocery stores over where they sell the specialty cheeses and things that you would make and put on a charcuterie board. So this one's just a sweet and savory pizza. It's meant to be just served at room temperature. We're not gonna put it in the oven. The ingredients are gonna be raw on there, or I guess I should say just uncooked. We've got some prosciutto that we're working with. If you don't like prosciutto, can't eat it, want to go vegetarian, whatever reasons, feel free to switch it up into whatever kind of meat you want. Some chicken would be really good on here, as would salami. I've seen people do tofu on here as well, some balsamic tofu. Go ahead and spread your fig jam in whatever thickness you desire. I like a little bit thinner of a layer because a little bit goes a long way here. And then I do have some caramelized onions that I made prior to this. So caramelizing your onions is really easy. All you need to do is just thin slice your onion. You're gonna throw it in a hot skillet with a little bit of salt, pepper, some balsamic vinegar, and a little bit of honey, and just let them caramelize up, get crispy, brown, really get to see that balsamic flavor pop out. Then we're going to do a little bit of chopped tomato. This is a great one if you're doing like a wine night. It will really pair with any kind of wines. I would think a crisp white wine would actually go really good with this one. I'm adding some chopped basil, and then I'm just taking my prosciutto. This one just kind of float around there wherever you want it to be. If you want to make pretty little roses with it and get really fancy, you can do that. I don't have the patience to make the roses, but I really think that the people who do can make some really pretty food with it. Mine would end up looking like a hot mess, in all honesty. All right, and then we're gonna do some goat cheese, crumpled goat cheese. You don't like goat cheese, please sub out feta cheese. You can go mozzarella, you can do Parmesan, whatever you prefer can go on this pizza. Again, this is another one kind of like the spaghetti squash pizzas where it's very versatile and you can do whatever kind of toppings or sauces, like our fig jams, our sauce here. The next is some arugula. I'm gonna sprinkle the arugula on the top. Don't need much. If you don't like arugula, spinach would be a great substitution. If you're going to do a flatbread Caesar pizza, for example, you can use romaine. And then our last thing is we're going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice on top. Get rid of that. And then finish with some balsamic glaze over the top. And then that is pretty much it for this pizza. Again, you can do all kinds of different variations. I'm actually gonna put just a little more tomato on top so I have color on top. All right, and then you can slice this into whatever size portions you would like. Serve it up to your guests. Lay a couple of these out at appetizer time and you will have some very happy people who are going to want the recipes and are not going to believe how easy this was. All right, I'll be back and we'll get our last pizza done. I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, welcome back, guys. Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope that you enjoyed our pizza night at home and that you go and take this home to your family and friends. We did our flatbread pizza today with caramelized onions, prosciutto, arugula, and some fig jam. And then we also did our barbecue chicken spaghetti squash pizza. These are both great ways to lighten up your pizza night, get some diversity into your dinners, and just have fun. So for this recipe and others, please make sure that you go and find my cookbook, Fresh and Fit Kitchen with Janelle Hill. You can find it anywhere that you would purchase books online, as well as my personal website, which is www.hillskitchenidaho.com. You'll be able to find it in there, go to the shop and purchase the cookbook as well. Thank you again for spending time with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a good evening.